Hello, my name is Khalid Ahmad. I'm 20 years old and I'm from London in the UK. I'm studying psychology and criminology at City University. Before I start, I just want to say thank you to all of the organisers, Gabriella, Federica, everyone involved in the organisation of this event, and to the judging panels, Mr. Jeffrey Sachs for being here, for providing the inspiration behind these goals and to actually implicate them worldwide. So thank you very much for everything. And thank you all of the speakers so far for imparting all of your knowledge upon us and your very innovative campaign ideas. So, as introduced, I have a solution which is about multi-faith pods set up in different communities. So, just out of interest, can I have a show of hands who here associates themselves with a faith? Okay, great. So, the idea is to have to give the tools required for young campaigners in their own communities with the tools that they need to set up campaigns within their own communities called pods. So these pods will be the mission statement is as follows: to mobilize young people, faith communities and NGOs in a coherent and unified approach to tackle the SDGs. Multi-faith pods of young people will work on delivering actions in a local area, strengthening interfaith and inter-NGO relations in the process. So where I'm from in London, we have 8.5 million people, and of those, 50% of them associate themselves with the Christianity faith. 25% of them are associated with other religions, and 25% are unassigned. In my own community, in Harrow, there's 246,000 people, and 35% of them consider themselves Christian, and 21.6% consider themselves Muslim. So the core of this idea is to have young people, such as everyone over here, to be interested in SDGs, and for them to actually show this by going onto the website that we have, and to say that they're interested in, let's say, goals 3, 5, and 7. And they can then find a network of NGOs who are working on those goals and actually network with them and get the tools that they need to set up a pod in their own communities. These different pods will then be working together as part of a hub, which will be made up of the NGOs. And this hub will come up with the ideas, and these will be critiqued by the pods who can actually come up with their own ideas and work on them together. So, the barriers and hurdles that will arise from this, of course, is to actually convince NGOs to join up onto this campaign. So the way I would like to get over this is by convincing NGOs that it's a dual beneficial process. The youth will be involved in these campaigns and will give a new spin on these campaigns and have innovative ideas which will not have come otherwise. Also, funding is another issue. However, I'm hoping to get over this by having local businesses in the areas where the pods are to actually contribute, and to have other initiatives here which are working on funding to actually be involved in this campaign as well. And then finally is keeping all the members keen and understanding what changes can be made to make the campaigns even better and to make the organization as a whole more approachable. So the real crux of it is to have these pods working together on all of the SDGs. Every single one of them will be worked on by different individuals who are interested in different things. So each pod will be centered around a number of goals which they are interested in, and collectively we'll be working on all of them all across the country, and hopefully I've already gathered interest from a colleague of mine who works in the EU to try and mobilize it European-wide if the control works in the UK. So looking to the future, I'm hoping to spread the campaign across nations and to see it going across Europe. And with campaigning groups such as One and Made in Europe behind groups like these, they can really push the creativity and the productivity of these pods by giving the resources that they need and imparting their knowledge with them. So this symposium is a great opportunity to network with all of you and to get an idea of all of the campaigns that you're interested in, and seeing if perhaps we could work together in a coherent way to actually create an umbrella organization where all of our ideas can be fed together and we can get the youth mobilized in these campaigns together. So I'd like to conclude by quoting Bob Dylan. Not Bob Dylan, sorry, Bob Marley. And I was going to Bob Dylan, but I've changed my mind. But one love, one life, let's get together and feel all right. I would sing it, but it's not exactly appropriate. And I've got one more quote, finally, I just remembered now. And this is actually a quote, it's called a hadith in Arabic, and it's a quote from the Prophet, peace be upon him. And it is, if you see an injustice, change it with your hands. If you can't do that, then speak out against it. And if you can't do that, then hate it with your heart. And that is the least of faith. So thank you very much for listening to me. If you have any questions, do find me. Thank you so much.